We have arrived at the semifinal rounds of the 2021 WCHA playoffs. We have a couple of games for you today from Mankato. Game number 1 features the conference regular season champion Minnesota State taking on the 6th seed and the upset-minded Northern Michigan Wildcats. Good afternoon. I'm Don Westfall, joined by Dan McCarger in a few moments as we get set for Game 1 of the semifinals from downtown Mankato. Have a few moments with Maverick head coach right now, Mike Hastings. And, Coach, you met this team back at the beginning weekend of the WCHA play, all the way back early January. Swept them, in fact, up in Michigan. But those games so long ago, 2.5 months ago, and I would imagine for the most part, while you were pleased with the sweep at that time, as far as its implications, impact today, a lot of the stuff that you saw on those tapes can kind of get thrown out. These are two different teams at this point of the season.
Absolutely. You know what? Boy, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like in this pandemic time where we've been trying to just live for today and live for one more day, as far as going out and having our teams together be able to compete. We were going to play Northern again in our own building earlier this year. That would have been after that first series there, so we could get home and home done. And that just didn't happen because they were unable to make it because of some COVID issues. So those games are in the rearview mirror. I don't think they mean anything other than we've seen them a little bit. We've watched enough tape. I'm sure they've watched enough tape on us. And now it's just going out and competing.
Well, if they've seen tape on your team this year, you have risen to the occasion on each and every weekend. You came in as a marked team after winning last year's regular season championship. You've met the challenges routinely week in and week out. Last couple of weeks of the regular season, 4 one-goal games, so you've been tested in that regard. You were tested last weekend in a good series against Fair State, and now coming back in your own building, single elimination. Obviously, not only just the fact of being in your own building, but the confidence you must have because you also get back two pretty important guys in the lineup today in Reggie Lutz and Lucas Sauter.
Yeah, you know what? We've been trying to build up until this point so that we're playing our best hockey and trying to put our best foot forward as far as, learning from the opportunities that we've had in the past. And this last weekend, I thought Ferris came out and they were very physical against us. And I thought we weathered the storm a little bit. I don't think we played as well as we could, but we played as well as we needed to. And, I don't think it's going to be any different tonight. You're going to see Northern come out, and they're going to try and put bodies on us, just like we're going to try and put bodies on them. And then it's about playing with the discipline and the ebbs and flows of the game, but trying to control the emotions and dictate pace at what we want to do. And it's an opportunity for us that we've earned through this process to be able to do it at home, and we want to take advantage of that.
All right, and that's what we'll have coming up after this break. It'll be the opening face-off, Game 1 of the semifinals, Minnesota State and Northern Michigan. Coming up, WCHA semifinals on Flow Hockey TV. The Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center, the site, Game 1 of this WCHA semifinal. Minnesota State, Mike Hastings, the head coach. Not only Coach of the Year in the WCHA, also Coach of the Decade for 2010s. And on the other side, Grant Potulny in his 4th year with Northern Michigan, but a guy who also has a long history, Dan McCarger, in the WCHA. A very impactful player for the Minnesota Gophers. Helped them to a national championship as well. So here in the last weekend of WCHA play and its long, illustrious history, good to have two strong members of the conference represented. There you see a couple of other good strong members, both guys, both goaltenders with postseason honors. Dryden McKay, of course, your goalie and player of the year in the WCHA, and then the rookie of the year as far as goaltenders goes on the all-rookie team for Northern Michigan, Rico DiMatteo. And Dan, we are just about set, and it's a game Northern Michigan knows they have got to win to have their season move on if they have any hopes of national tournament aspirations. And for the Mavericks, no matter what happens this weekend, they're in, but they're playing for a seed.
Yeah, they're playing for a number 1 seed. If they can win 2 games, they're confident they'll be one of the 4 number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament.
Mavericks and Wildcats again met earlier this year, first weekend of January, 5-0, 4-0 shutout wins for the Mavericks on the road. But you just heard from Coach Mike Hastings. Teams much different than they were 2.5 months ago. In any year that would be the case, but certainly within this COVID year and dynamic. A much different squad on either bench. We're underway here. Game 2 coming up later on Flow Hockey TV. That'll see Lake Superior State, the number 2 seed, and they will take on Bemidji State. And both of those teams Also, maybe not so much Bemidji State, Dan, but Lake Superior State, very important for them in their playoff aspirations to move on to the NCAA tournament as well. So it should be two very exciting games here in Mankato.
Well, no question about that. Tonight's game, I think the winner of tonight's game probably secures a spot. Doesn't necessarily have to win the championship, but clearly Northern has to win the tournament championship to make the tournament for the NCAAs next week.
Yeah, that one's going to be lifted out to center ice and probably an icing call against Luss. Most people believe, if you believe the media pundits, of which I guess Dan and I are part of that group, but most people would say Bemidji's probably has a pretty good position, even though they come in as the third seed in the conference. They have a much better non-conference and a better record against ranked opponents this year.
Correct, and most of the bracketology has the Beavers in the tournament, but they could certainly play themselves into the tournament by winning a game tonight. And again, as I mentioned, the safest way to make sure you're in the tournament is win this tournament.
Wildcats in the zone. Mikey Kalela in there, had a big weekend last weekend in the 2-1 series. As far as their work against Bowling Green, the only upset as far as the seeds go in the conference tournament last weekend was Northern Michigan's defeat of Bowling Green. Is down low. Here's a chance. Score! Gantus leading the WCHA in scoring this year. Got one down low. Mavericks could not gather it up defensively between the circles, and Gantus comes through in just a minute 16 in. It's the Wildcats up 1-0.
It's his 8th of the season, 26th point of the year, his 19th career goal. Andre Gantus gobbles up a shot out in front and puts it away. Really good opportunity for the Huskies early on, and they were able to put it in the back of the net. They get the early lead on the Mavericks.
Well, the Mavericks, not often have they spent much time behind here in downtown Mankato.
They haven't spent much time behind anywhere.
Nardi getting the single assist on the play, and of course for Nardi, comes in 9th in the country as far as numbers of assists in his 31 points, now also in the top 10 in the country. So nice quick start for Grant Patolny's team as that one's tipped into the corner by Merritt. Ammett along the boards. Mavericks will clear now with Carroll. Carroll dumps it into the zone to the far side. Slan will step into the play. Taken to the corner by Van Unen. Vincent DeMay will tee one up, send one into the corner. Low angle shot right along the goal line taken by Ryland Van Unen, and Dryden McKay has to make another save. You know, we talked to Coach Hastings, Dan, off the air, and the importance of getting that first goal and off to a quick start. He emphasized that. This is a team coming in Northern Michigan. They're down one of their major scorers this weekend in Griffin Loughran, who led the WCHA last year in scoring. Down some defensemen as well. Another shot on goal. Mavericks not getting off to the quick start their coach wanted them to.
They're certainly not. You know, the Mavericks won 5-0 and 4-0 earlier this year. So I know that they feel comfortable that they can take care of this team. But Northern Michigan is clearly a different team than they were at that time, and they're showing it here early on.
Klee and Jaremko will step in for the draw that the Wildcats will win. Malcolmson dumps it into the corner. Klee is after it. Hiroshi steps in for the Mavericks, plays it ahead for Lutz, and now out of the zone. Hank Sorensen drives it back in. Napravnik for the Mavericks. Dumped in. Here comes Jaremko along the goal line. Puts one in on net. Napravnik overskates the rebound. Van Unen sends it back in behind Newhouse. Vanderbeck. 4 points last weekend to lead all scores for the Wildcats in the series against Bowling Green. Furry lost the puck in the neutral ice area. Schultz will bring it back in on his backhand side, puts one in. McKay has to sear that aside. Bouncing puck that Dewar will grab. Livingstone ahead for Furry. Left into the corner for Dewar. He's after it ahead of Newhouse. Colby Enns picks it up out at center ice. Played into the zone by Fry. Hiroshi is back. Gets stood up by Sorensen on the play. Erkla steps in for the Wildcats. Back to Rossi. McNeely puts one in off the leg of Kolela. Gantus turns one around, but it's dumped right back in by the Mavericks. 16-10 left to go in the first. Already 1-0 lead for Northern Michigan.
One thing you'll be able to hear on the broadcast is the cheering from the benches, something that you're really not used to hearing very much of, but you can hear every time a player blocks a shot of their own team is really excited about how much that means for their club.
DiMatteo goes for a spill as he was just behind his own net trying to make the play and almost created an opportunity there for the Mavericks.
Yeah, it could have been disastrous.
Sauter was back behind the net. If you just missed that in the pregame discussion with Coach Hastings, Lucas Sauter in the lineup this afternoon. Vincent DeMay will bring it out. Dropped off. And Union sends it wide of the net. Follow up quickly is Kiefer on that play. Morton plays it back for Carroll. Zmolik dumped off for Morton, and then he takes a huge hit right at center ice from Vincent DeMay, but both are up quickly.
That'll wake you up in the afternoon.
Didn't need any coffee on that one, that's for sure. 4-player scrum along the boards. Gerads is in there along with DeMay. Now Sandel in for the Mavericks. Tries to get one back for Gervais. Played off the boards back to the point, and Zmolik just taps it in, but the Mavericks are going to have to clear. Brought out to center ice by Van Unen. Morton dumps it in. That'll be an icing call against the Mavericks as he was looking to lead pass, and the Mavericks will take the faceoff back in their own zone. And a good start, obviously, not only the 1-0 lead, but Wildcats with some sustained time in the zone as well, Dan.
Yeah, the Wildcats are off to a good start. They've got 4 shots on goal already. They're up 4-1 in shots on goal and 1-0 on the scoreboard. So a really good start for Northern Michigan. And Wildcats, I couldn't be happier, I wouldn't think, with the start that they've had so far.
A continuation of where they left off last weekend against the Falcons. Schultz turns one back for Fry in the corner. Now Vanderbeek spun around by Sandlin. Played out of the zone, and the Wildcats are going to have to retreat. Last weekend in the series against Bowling Green, it was a 4-3 win, game 1, 5-1 on the Sunday winner-take-all game after Falcons had come back for a 5-0 shutout in game 2. But
yeah, I think a lot of people were really impressed with that Sunday game. After getting beat 5-0 on Saturday, I think a lot of people were really surprised to see the way they came out and took it to them on the Sunday game.
And Provnik almost gets the turnover there. Now played out. Vanderbeek will carry. Just dump it into the zone. Rossi and Nardi are after it. Lutz off the boards is able to clear the zone. Jaremko for the Mavericks. Jaremko will dump it in, and the Mavericks will let things go and bring out 5 new skaters down to 13:30 left to go in the first. Sorensen. Van Unen. Michael Van Unen. Carried in along with Zmolik, now behind the net. Poked away from him by Zmolik. Takes a big hit in the boards. Van Unen gets up, now has one down low. Here's a chance again, but that shot blocked by Zmolik as Kolela had a look. He had a big weekend, as we mentioned, in that series against Bowling Green, stepping in for Loughran. Quick shot there by Furry, goes up high, wide. Ammett steps in for the Mavericks. Played out to center ice. Kiefer played back for Gantus. Loose puck that's just dropped in. Carroll is back for the Mavericks.
The intensity level is very high here early on, Don. Very impressed with the way both teams are going at it.
That shot gets blocked by Newhouse from Nathan Smith. He has his own rebound in the corner. Up on top, Livingstone had to kind of give the point up to just hold puck possession. So the Mavericks clear and brought back in by Carroll.
If there was any question if afternoon hockey, if either team would be ready, both teams are coming out here and they're flying around and hitting everybody.
Carroll once again with it for the Mavericks. Played ahead for Smith. Sauter. Here's a chance down low, but Borchard unable to take that pass. It was up in the air, delivered from Sauter. Hiroshi off the skate, played it to the far side. Smith is there, and the first big save of the afternoon for DiMatteo. Smith one more time. Orchard in the corner, played back to the point. McNeely, Hiroshi in the slot, hops over the stick of Smith. Now Newhouse will just kind of hold on to puck possession. That allows both teams to get some fresh skaters out.
They've changed the shots on goal now. It's 5-0 in favor of the Wildcats here early in the first period.
Icing call is going to go against the Wildcats here, so we'll take the face-off back to the other side. Bruce Vida and TJ Likens are the referees this afternoon. Tyler Landman and Nathan Vole are the linesmen assigned by the WCHA. McMahon will take the draw along with Alex Fry. They're going to realign on the backside, Sandlin and Sorensen. Mavericks will get this draw with Gervais. Behind the net, stood up by Newhouse. Gervais still looking for some room to work. Played it back to Livingstone, but right between the skates, and it comes all the way back where McKay will have to make a play for Minnesota State. Zmolik with the lead pass for Sandlin. Sandlin dumps it into the corner behind the net now for Gerads. Near side where Vanderbeek pokes it to the far corner. Urkula steps in for the Wildcats. At center ice, Fry has it, and he just flips it in. He and Carroll are after it. Now McMahon tries to help out for the Mavericks. Schultz also down low for Northern Michigan on the play. McMahon, Sandlin, near side Ammett. Ammett looking to create an opportunity, trying to cut the angle, runs out of room and takes the goal off the magnet. And we'll take a break near the halfway point of the first. Northern Michigan on top, 1-0. Faceoff's going to stay in the Maverick offensive zone. Second time these two teams have met in WCHA play. First one all the way back in 2014. That was a 2-0 sweep in games for the Mavericks. Couple of one-goal games, 3-2 and 5-4 in overtime. Sent down low, but played off a body into the corner. McNeely unable to control the play. Nardi steps in and he drops one off for Colby Enns. McNeely near side for Hiroshi. Tried to feed Jaremko a long lead pass. There's going to be no icing on this play as Urkula gets back to it. Left off for Newhouse. Northern Michigan at center ice with Gontus, the goal scorer in the contest. Still has one down low, sends one wide off a stick. Livingstone will step in, play to the far side. Urkula gets there first, sends one in down low on the glove of Dryden McKay. And we'll take a break as well. 1-0 as you watch the WCHA semi. We're back in downtown Mankato, and Dan McCarger, you're going to get a look here at the goal.
There it is right there. Andre Gontus, his 8th of the season, 26 point. Again, his 48th of his career for points and 19th goal of his career. Just a sophomore from Glendale, California, and he gets his team off to an early lead.
Again, led the WCHA as far as conference games goes with scoring this year. 20 points coming into the weekend, 6 goals and 14 assists. And again, those 18 assists that he has, he and Nardi among the nation's leaders in assist totals for the year. And they get off to a quick start, and those guys were involved last week. We had mentioned Mikey Kulela had a good weekend for the Wildcats and got some help from his line mates over the weekend as Furry tries to sweep it out front. Picked up by Gontus and sent out. McNeely. Hiroshi trying to work through a little bit of traffic. Spooner dumps one in. Far side for Doer. Doer into the corner. Furry now off the bench. Livingstone sends one wide of the net. Gontus will play the rebound. Carries out to center ice. Kulela will pick it up and dump it in.
You know, coming into last weekend, Don, I think Mike Hastings mentioned it to us. He said there are probably 6 teams that could end up winning this WCHA title, and Northern Michigan was one of those teams, and they showed it last weekend, and so far against the number 3 ranked team in the nation, they look really good.
Smith will come back for the Mavericks, left off for Zmolik. Played ahead for Souter, but not out. Actually, it does hop over the stick of Sorensen. So the Wildcats will have to clear. Souter tried to put one down low for Smith breaking in. Souter has it once again in the corner up on top. MSUMIT sends one down low, bounces. It hit a stick out in front. Took a carom wide of the net. Now lifted out to center ice where Carroll turns it around for the Mavericks. Van Unen near side. Sorensen ahead and tipped in by DeMay.
If we can trust the stats on the board, it's still 5-0 shots on goal.
Played off the side of the net. Malcolmson, watched by Carroll. Back up on top, N sends one wide. Borchert will lift it out to center ice. Gerads, as it's poked away, nice job defensively by Enns to break up an opportunity that was looking to develop for Minnesota State. Long lead pass, tipped in. And they're going to say, no, it was not tipped, so we'll take a icing call back the other way into the Wildcats defensive zone.
7:22 to go in the first period of play. And according to the scoreboard anyway, the Mavericks have no shots on goal, which is hard to fathom, but we'll take them at their word for the moment. It's one of the longest stretches the Mavericks have gone this year without a shot on goal, if that's the case.
Hirose far side, McNeely down wide of the net, behind Lutz again with it in the circle, down low, and it's kicked into the corner. Van Unen unable to clear. It's sent behind the net by Lutz. Near side Vanderbeek. Off the skate of Fry, so Napravnik will gather up. Newhouse to the far side for Enns. Carried out to center ice by Fry. Hirose. Here comes Jaremko the other way. Mavericks so content just to dump it into the corner and get some fresh skates out. A.J. Vanderbeek through the center circle, flips it in. And that actually will go up into the net for a stoppage of play. We will take it as well. 6:28 left to go in the first. Northern Michigan on top of the Mavericks 1-0. Taking a look at Mike Hastings on the left, Grant Patelny on the right. Both these programs have won 3 WCHA playoff titles. For Northern Michigan, those came back late 80s, early 90s with Rick Comley behind the bench for the Wildcats, and Mike Hastings claiming all 3 Maverick playoff wins. Gontus down low, but it's broken up. Here's another opportunity as Gontus caught up to a play that was deflected by Livingstone. Van Unen in the corner. Nardi has it as he stood up by Furry on the play. Livingstone left off now for Zmolik. Spins away from one check. Play to an open corner, but Nardi is there for the Wildcats, sent through the top of the crease. Kallela down low. It's blocked off the skate of Livingstone. Mavericks finally able to bring it out to center ice. Spooner dumps it in. DiMatteo left off now. Van Unen. Behind the net. DeMay overskates it as he was trying to bring it out to the crease area. Played off a body in the Maverick bench, so hence we're going to get a whistle. And the face-off, thinking it's looks like they're going to position it right outside the Maverick bench area and neutral ice area, although discussion going on about it. Just
shots now 5-1.
Grant Patelny you saw there, now in his 4th year, but he's got his team into the semifinals 3 of his first 4 years, so a nice start. The Coach Patelny. Newhouse, he'll just drive it into the zone. Carroll played ahead for Borkert. Now into the corner, Merritt stood up by Carroll on the play. Ammett will carry for the Mavericks to Souter. Smith between the circles down low. Here's a chance. Oh, and they played it behind Souter. Is that with Borchard, who had a good look, but just a little bit too far behind on that pass.
Fewest shots on goal in the period for the Mavericks this year is 4. They've done
Sauter
it twice.
again with it. Played out, and McNeely is there, turned around. Gervais has it poked away by Van Unen. Sandlin is after it. Malcolmson will get out to center ice. Loose puck picked up by Van Unen. Down low, he had Malcolmson breaking in, but it's played and blocked by Hirose.
Ooh, Gerard with a big hit.
He and Sorensen collide on the play. They're still looking at one another. 3:50 left to go in the first, and as Dan just mentioned, Mavericks looking at a season low as far as shots on goal, with just the one right now as Durads brings it in, and that'll be number 2. DiMatteo will make that save. We'll take another break late in the first from Mankato. Some of the fans in attendance still limited to 250 in the building for this weekend. Obviously, a very difficult job for any home game here in Mankato, but certainly given the playoffs and 3 visiting teams in the building, credit to the administration for making it work. As Molik on his backhand, this one down low, and then the rebound sent just wide on the near side by Jaremko. Smolik one more time, trying to play it down low. Here comes Napravnik. He's tied up from behind nicely by Fry on the play. Wildcats into the zone, 3-on-2. Vander Beck misfires on his pass across, and here comes Napravnik with Lutz, 2-on-2. Napravnik near side now. Livingstone has it on a backhand. Played off a skate and dumped out to center ice by Newhouse. Vanderbeck turns one in. Lutz to the near side for Napravnik. Long lead pass for Lutz at center ice. Michael Van Unen was back. Also coming back on the play is Enns. Gontus brings it down into the slot area, kicked away, and here's a chance if they can free up Spooner. Spooner with Dorr. Jared Spooner's follow-up is also stuffed. 2 great shots and saves made by DiMatteo on the play to keep it a 1-0 game. Mavericks clearly their best opportunity of the first period. Furry back in the zone one more time, overskates the puck, and it's played out. Carroll with 2:07 left. Flipped in. Carroll after one more time, but they're going to say that one is going to be whistled down on an offside call.
Spooner with the first free runner of the night, and boy, he had a really good opportunity. But Rico was up for the task here as we're going to look at it.
First shot was there, second one goes just wide. Spooner, and then Dorr was looking for even a bigger rebound, but another overhead look at it. 2 very good plays. Second shot actually never got off. It was tied up in the skate of Spooner, and he just dragged it behind the net. Mavericks get the draw. Emmett fires one to the far side. Smith, Orchard are there. Corner for Kiefer. Played ahead. Merritt unable to clear initially. Back to the point now, poked out by DeMay. Smith was there. Some of the Wildcats looking for potentially an interference call. Carroll. Orchard near side. Sauter. Sauter trying to feed. That was Carroll breaking down the slot, but he was tied up defensively by Urkla on the play. Out in front, almost had one for Sauter, but at least for Maverick fans, local team getting, a little bit of life is Ammett. Maverick still waiting to get a second defenseman down off the boards. Orchard out in front, trying to feed off to Morton, and it goes off a skate in the corner. Sauter. Malcolmson is able to get it out ahead and cleared out of the zone by Merritt, who then got dumped by Ammett on the play. Smolik from Morton. Livingstone, far side. Sandlin will try to track it down. Behind the net for Gerads. Got caught up in some snow on the far side out in front. Blocked and sent out of the zone on the play by Van Unen. right in on net, so no icing. McKay had to make a play on it. 35 seconds left in the first. Smolik brought in Morton. Play down low, bouncing puck wide of the net. Sandlin with it. Wildcats wanted to see an offside on that play. Gerard sidesteps the check, brings out in the face-off circle. Into the corner. Morton trying to help out as well. Along the boards, Livingstone will get there. Down to 10 seconds left. Trying to feed Gerard, who pokes one down low. Here's a chance late in the period for the Wildcats. Nardi dropped back for Gontus on his backhand down low, and Dryden McKay with a huge save.
Oh, my.
A fantastic save there by Dryden McKay to keep this a 1-0 lead for the Wildcats at the end of one. Both teams with some great scoring opportunities late, but the goaltending a little better, and after one period of play, it's Northern Michigan on top of Minnesota State by a score of 1-0. You are watching the WCHA semifinals here on Flow Hockey TV.
Over 100 years ago, America's greatest amateur athlete was a college student from Princeton University, Hobey Baker. He dominated the game of hockey in an era featuring no forward passing, but plenty of coast-to-coast dashes up the ice. He was hailed as the king of hockey. Baker became one of America's first World War I fighter pilots and an All-American hero. His legend lives on through an award given annually to college hockey's top player, the Hobey Baker Memorial Award. Now, the nation's college hockey coaches and fans have determined the top 10 candidates for the 41st annual Hobey Baker Award. In alphabetical order and in a pandemic-shortened college hockey season, here is a class of 2021. First up is Matt Boldy of #1 ranked Boston College. The highly skilled power forward finished second in Hockey East scoring and assists, collecting 24 points on 10 goals and 14 assists in 19 conference games. The sophomore from Millis, Massachusetts, was named first-team All-Conference. A first-round draft pick of Minnesota, he's averaging almost a point per game in his 2-year career. Next up is Wisconsin Badgers scoring sensation Cole Caulfield. For the second straight year, he is the Big Ten scoring champion. The sophomore forward from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, currently leads the nation with 25 goals and is first in scoring with 46 points in just 28 games. Honored by the Big Ten as Player of the Year and First Team All-Conference, the first-round draft of Montreal is red hot with 13 multiple-point games in his last 15 outings. Our next finalist is a repeat from last year, David Ferentz from Boston University. The pandemic created a shortened season for the Terriers as they played just 15 games. The offensive-minded senior defenseman from Victor, New York, tied for the team lead in scoring with 16 points in the 10 games he played. His stellar play in such a short span earned him first-team All-Conference honors in Hockey East. A second member of the Wisconsin Badgers joins the top 10 in forward Dylan Holloway. A big, powerful sophomore centerman, he enters the postseason fourth in the nation in points, bagging 11 goals and 23 assists in just 20 games. The first-round draft of Edmonton from Bragg Creek, Alberta, tops the nation, averaging 1.7 points per game, aiding his choice as first-team All-Conference in the Big Ten. Next up is sophomore goalie Spencer Knight from Boston College. The first-round draft of Florida has hauled away a host of Hockey East awards, including Goalie of the Year, Player of the Year, and First-Team All-Conference. A sophomore from Darien, Connecticut, he enters the Hockey East semifinals with a 16-2-1 record. He's third in the nation with a .937 saves percentage and sports an excellent 1.99 goals against average. The sixth Hobie finalist is senior goalie Jack LaFontaine from the University of Minnesota. An athletic, focused, and highly competitive netminder, LaFontaine has been at or near the top of key goalie stats all season. He sits third in the nation with a 1.64 goals against average, fifth in save percentage, and first in wins with 19. He's also posted 5 shutouts and was named Goalie of the Year and First Team All-Conference in the Big Ten. He's from Mississauga, Ontario. Another goalie cracks our top 10, Dryden McKay from Minnesota State University. The junior from Downers Grove, Illinois, is a 3-time WCHA goalie champion, 2-time League Goalie of the Year, and a Hobie Top 10 finalist for the second straight season. He's number 1 in the nation with a spectacular 1.25 goals against average and is tied for third with a .937 saves percentage. McKay has posted a national best 9 shutouts this season, and his 22 career zeros is second all-time in NCAA history. The WCHA named him Goalie of the Year, Player of the Year, and First Team All-Conference. A 4th goalie makes a Hobie Top 10, Keith Petrozelli from Quinnipiac University. He has been the nation's busiest goalie this season, and with all 27 starts for the Bobcats, and has started every game for them over the past 2 seasons. Currently 5th in the nation with a 1.78 goals against average, and 3rd in the nation with 17 wins, Petrozelli earned ECAC Goalie of the Year and First Team All-Conference accolades. He's a senior from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. A 5th sophomore cracks the top 10. University of North Dakota forward Shane Pinto. Helping the Fighting Hawks to a second straight NCHC conference title, Pinto led the conference in scoring parade with 28 points in 24 games. A ton of awards has followed. NCHC Player of the Year, Forward of the Year, Defensive Forward of the Year, and First Team All-Conference. An Ottawa draft from Franklin Square, New York, he's one of the best face-off artists in the country. Rounding out the 2021 top 10 is Quinnipiac outstanding senior forward Odin Tufto. The playmaking wizard leads the nation in assists with 38 in 27 games and sits second overall in the nation in scoring. Outstanding on the face-off dots, he has won a national best 63% of his draws. ECAC awards have included Player of the Year and First Team All-Conference. Tufto is from Chaska, Minnesota, and has had 14 multiple-point games. The Hobie Baker Award winner will be announced Friday, April 9th, with a hat trick of 3 finalists on April 1st.
Don Westfall, Dan McCarger back in downtown Mankato, getting set for the second period between the Mavericks and the Wildcats. And right now it's Northern Michigan on top, Dan, 1-0. Could have easily been 2-0 as you guide us through these first period highlights.
Going to go a minute 16 into the game. Andre Gantus from Joseph Nardi. Gantus 8th of the season. You'll see it right there. Nardi's 20th assist of the season makes it 1-0. That's where we are after 1 period because Dryden McKay made this save right at the end of the period. Otherwise, it's 2-0.
Literally with a second or 2 left, it would have been good.
It would have been
shot
good.
By Nardi
No
got
question.
in, but Dryden McKay is, there you see again, his top 10 finalist for the Hobie Baker Award, top 9 as far as the Richter Award. Very deserving of all those awards with the stellar season he has put together, but that might have been, we'll have to see if the Mavericks can put something on the board here to really make it matter, but easily the save of the game to keep the team in it. There's a chance out low right off the face-off. Mavericks brought it in, and an innocent play that came in on net. And Jaremko had to look for the Mavericks, but
I think it went off of Jaremko's skate. It would not have been a kicking motion. If it would have gone in, I think it would have counted, but very close to being a tie game.
DiMatteo there with the big save. He was the difference maker last week, according to Coach Patulny. Very even keel, made some big saves early to give his team some confidence, keep them in it. Very reminiscent of what we saw in the first 20 minutes today as that shot by Napravnik gets blocked. But DiMatteo and also just the play of Kolela were the big difference. There's a chance down low. Score!
My goodness. Early goals for the Wildcats to start the first period and now the second period.
First shot got blocked, but the follow-up right on top of the crease was there. Mavericks could not cover up. And
this team is finding themselves at the right time. There's no question about it.
They are getting hot, and there's a lot of interested parties across the country right now watching this Wildcat team to see if they can progress as it's played in off the rebound, and it's a 2-0 lead as Fry Wright is there on the side of the net into an open net. And Northern Michigan making a statement early on here in the second.
Scoring for the Wildcats 24 seconds into the second period. Number 2, Alex Fry. Assisted by number 10, Ben Newhouse, and number 21, Brandon Schultz.
Schultz and Newhouse assisting on that goal just 24 seconds into the second period. And Dan, you and I for a team.
It's gut check time for the Mavericks.
Here comes Nardi the other way with one back. He's got Kalela trailing on the play and then overskated the puck. But I agree, for this team that's never lost on the home ice yet this season, they need to come up with something here fast. Smith. Far side for Ammett, who just dumps it in behind the net for Spooner. Nardi. Played out of the zone. Gantu stuck the check there that was going to be delivered by Ammett. You know, the danger of Northern Michigan, Dan, is there's really not a ton of expectations. They come in, they made the upset win in the series last weekend. And
they got nothing to fear.
Nothing to lose, and they're playing like it. Furry in the corner gets turned around. Carroll. Ammett down low. That one's blocked on the save. Spooner. Carroll one more time. Puts one down low, and that's tipped just wide. Follow up to the side of the net, and it's knocked off by DiMatteo, and we're going to see the face-off. Looks like it's going to stay in the zone, and Northern Michigan not going to be able to make a change.
Mike Hastings was quick to tell us, Don, that he didn't think that the season that the Wildcats had was a true reflection of how good this hockey team is. They're 10-16-1 on the year, but they started out in serious COVID problems, probably more so than almost anybody at the beginning of the season. It took them a long time to get going, but they are clearly playing very good hockey right now.
Gerads. Newhouse was on him defensively. It's played out to center ice. Hiroshi trying to turn things around quickly for Minnesota State. Sandlin. Morton overskated the puck as he entered the zone. Ryland Van Unen, and now it's caught up and not sure where the stoppage is going to come. Might be the hand pass, as you indicate, with 7:35 left to go. Game 2 coming up, 7:30 here in Central Time Zone between Lake Superior State and Bemidji State. 2 winners meet tomorrow night for the Jeff Sauer Trophy and Playoff Championship and automatic berth in the NCAA tournament. That game set for 7 o'clock here in Mankato. And Union. Klee will go after it, but Lutz gets there first for the Mavericks. Malcolmson trying to feed it out in front for Van Unen, but it was broken up on the play. Sorensen is back for the Wildcats. Van Unen with McMahon trying to create a turnover. Jaremko and now Lutz step into the play for the Mavericks. Up on top, Smolik. Played down low, that's blocked before it got to the goal. Lutz with a quick shot, rebound given up, but no one home for Minnesota State. Livingstone behind the net. McMahon, he stood up by Klee on the play. Morton for Smolik, played down low, bounces to the near corner where Morton will track it down. Smolik.
We got an injured player down there, he's having a hard time.
Played out in front. There's a quick chance and a huge save by Tio.
Sorensen still struggling.
Morton far side. Hiroshi. Morton one more time. Played down but blocked by Michael Van Unen. Wildcats can clear but not get it deep enough where they can get some fresh skaters out on the ice. Van Unen. Now Malcolmson will just tap it out of the zone. Gerads comes back for the Mavericks. Dumped in, and now the Wildcats can get off on the change. Played along the boards. It'll come all the way down, and it'll be an icing call against Minnesota State with 15:50 left to go in the second. Mavericks with some sustained time in the zone for the first time, but for a team that Coach Hastings talked about before the game, that first 10 minutes important, getting the first goal. We want to set some pace in the tone. We have to make them defend. Mavericks at this point pretty much 0 for 4.
Throw that out the window and figure out a way to get a goal here. The next goal is gigantic at this point, obviously. If the Wildcats get up 3-0, the way they're playing, there's every reason to believe they can hang on to that lead. Mavericks make it 2-1, and it's a completely different game. So this next goal is just enormous for the Mavericks.
Morton dumps it in. Newhouse is back, spins away from a check. Schultz ends. He'll carry it into the zone. Played down low for Fry, but blocked by the Mavericks. MSUMIT played ahead for Souter. Turned right around. Here's a chance down low. Bouncing puck that swept aside at a quick turnover and an opportunity created by the Wildcats. Fry once again with it. Vanderbeck with a shot that's blocked from a low angle. Vanderbeck in the corner. Schultz one more time. Played to the side of the net. Dryden McKay has seen enough. And we'll take our first break as a couple of players, brief discussion, but the officials clean it up. And it's a 2-0 Wildcat lead. Maverick Hockey Jersey Auction for Maverick fans. You have a couple more days to get your best bids in at MSUMavericks.com/jersey auction. Mike Hastings and his club down 2-0 early in the second period of play, but Dan McCarger, next goal, as you've mentioned, looms large for this local program as they're trying to get something going here. It's been all Wildcats for the most part. Here's a chance for Nardi down low and a kick save made by McKay. And now it's flipped up out of play. And the face-off is going to end up staying in the Maverick defensive zone. Shots on goal right now, Wildcats, with that last one leading 11-10. And Dryden McKay's made a couple big saves. The last one of the first period was big. A nice kick save right there. And also on the other side, Rico DiMatteo has played well for his club early on here, but he's only seen 10 shots. That's probably the bigger statistic for the Mavericks. Just 10 shots early in the second as far as shots on goal on the home ice.
Well, imagine if that save hadn't been made right at the end of the first period. This could be a 3-0 game, and the Mavericks could be in serious trouble. Not to say that they're not in some sort of trouble down 2-0.
All the credit to the Wildcats in this one. They have played well. Napravnik through some traffic, quick shot, follow-up, still down loose. Carroll got dropped on the play, but no call was made. That's playoff hockey, and the Mavericks unable to get one there. This will be an icing call the other way. But
Maverick bench certainly wanted a call.
Yeah, it looked like Carroll got pulled down on the near side with that rebound laying there.
Well, we know he didn't dive down to the ice to try to knock it in. Get a look at it here.
I think justifiable. Even Mike Hastings looking at the scoreboard would have to agree with that one. And he's trying to make his point with the officials. Down low, Jaremko unable to gather up puck possession. Lutz poked away from him from behind the net. Now Jaremko will step in. He's dropped down on the play, still loose. Now it'll be played back to the point. MSUMIT is able to hold it in at the zone, but picked up. Cleared here on the near side by Kiefer. Carroll. Played off Vincent DeMay. He'll just get to the line and dump it in. Jaremko. Lead pass for Lutz. It's tipped into the zone. No icing. Sorensen is back for Northern Michigan to Malcolmson. Right at the line, Gerads gets it, but has to wait for his line mates to clear. Sorensen. Van Unen, as it's taken away by Sandlin and dumped back in. Gerads, far side Morton, try to catch up to it. To the near corner, Livingstone will step in, over skates the puck. Morton gets there, then Malcolmson is stood up along the boards.
One of the few times the Mavericks have had any offensive zone time. Haven't been able to do anything with it, but at least they've had the puck for a while.
Quick shot there through some traffic by Zmolik. Never got on net. Zmolik with it one more time. Looking for an angle play down, but into the glove of DiMatteo, and he'll just take the face-off in the zone with 12:14 left to go in the second.
That puck was going wide, but he just wanted to slow things down and have a face-off to his left, so he takes that, snatches it with the big left hand there and hands it off to the official and says, let's start this over again.
2 early period goals for the Wildcats, giving them the 2-0 lead. Gontus at 1:16 of the first, and then 24 seconds here of the second. Fry, his 5th of the year. And that's our score as we're nearing the halfway point of the contest. Wildcats with the face-off, but Sauter along the boards will hold. Played down low for Borchard, still loose in the far circle. Now picked up, flipped out to the line. McNeely will hold for the Mavericks. Cade Borchard poked away. Smith steps in for the Mavericks. Sauter's also there, but the loose puck behind the net finally will be controlled by the Wildcats. Almost brought out by Smith, however, for Minnesota State. Newhouse is in the corner. Played ahead and now carried out by Fry, who's got the goal here in the second, working against McNeely. Smith gets it ahead for Sauter. Sauter will go into the zone after it, but Urkela gets there first. Sorensen played out. Vanderbeek to the far side. Fry with Smolik back, and then Dryden McKay as the puck comes in toward the net. Dryden McKay covers up and will take a face-off.
Well, shots are 12-11 in favor of the Mavericks, but 2-0 on the scoreboard for the Wildcats. As Don mentioned, a minute 36 into the first period and 24 seconds into the second period. So really good starts for the Wildcats, and Mavericks just kind of hanging on at the moment, trying to figure out a way to get something going. Offensively, they've had some zone time down, but again, when they've had it, it's been along the wall or behind the net, not a whole lot of net front anything happening at all. So I'm very impressed with what Grant Petone has been able to do with this Wildcat club so far.
They're going to redo that face-off as Nardi not quite set. He's in there along with Furry on the season. Northern Michigan, second in the country coming into the weekend as far as face-off wins. They came into the weekend 899 on the season. They're going to put maybe a second or two back up on the board. Now we're just about set to go, and that face-off taken by the Mavericks. Smolik out of the zone. Sorensen turns one around. Nardi back to work. Bounces. Score!
Wow. Huge mistake by Dryden McKay. That one went right up over the top of him. Just up off his shoulder and in. 3-0. The Mavericks have a hole they may not be able to crawl out of.
That's
and
a breaker.
We're halfway through the game.
That is a breaker, because there's just simply no way Dryden McKay should have given up that one.
Nope.
Coming just inside the blue line. Nardi, his 12th. And to say Maverick fans are stunned is an understatement.
I'd say all across college hockey fans are stunned right now. That one just doesn't go in. And it did. You talk about having your work cut out for you now.
Mavericks have not had an answer yet and haven't had a ton of time in the zone. Hank Sorensen picked up one of the assists on the play as well. But it could not have been scripted better for the Northern Michigan fans in attendance and all of you watching back across the country and Flow Hockey TV. Played off the bench. So we're going to take the face-off back into the Northern Michigan defensive zone.
Well, the Wildcats have certainly won the first half of the game. We're 33 seconds away from the midway point. They're up 3-0. The Maverick fans are hoping that they can win the second half of the game and get back in this one. But that one has to shake your whole team when you have a goaltender like that who's up for the Hobie Baker Award and the Richter Award and have a shot going that you just haven't seen go in all year.
McNeely and Gontus having a discussion. And off the jaw, the Mavericks get it. Carroll's shot blocked by DeMay. He gathers it up one more time. Now played back into the near boards. Sandlin trying to catch up to it. Out in front, Gerads, quick shot. And that one is a big save by DiMatteo. Gerads might have been the biggest save, especially preserving this 3-0 lead. Carroll, low angle shot that gets blocked, and the Mavericks now starting to fire in. And then the opportunity they have in the zone is one of the Wildcats is down to play. That's Vincent DeMay. And now we're going to finally get a whistle. Hopefully he's okay, but we'll take a break here. 9:51 left. It's Wildcats 3-0 over the Mavericks. Northern Michigan fans, not large in number in the building, but those that are here are having a whale of an afternoon in downtown
They
Mankato.
certainly are, and well-deserved. They've got 3 goals on 13 shots scored in the first 2 minutes of the first period, the first 30 seconds of the second period, then midway through the second period to make it 3-0 against the number 3 ranked team in the nation. Mavericks are in the NCAA tournament, fans. They're playing for a number 1 seed in the tournament right now. They need to win tonight and this afternoon and tomorrow to have any chance of getting a number 1 seed. And right now that is in big question, but they're in the NCAA tournament. No one questions that. The Wildcats need a victory today and tomorrow to make the tournament.
Smolik will tee up a shot that's wide on the near side and comes all the way out of the zone. And again, Dan, remember, this is a Northern Michigan team. You're down Griffin Loughran, one of the leading scorers coming back in the country, certainly within the WCHA last year's leading scorer. And you're also down 3 defensemen.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And you're halfway through the contest against, as you said, the number 3 ranked team in the country, and you're up 3-0. Livingstone down for Borchert, trying to get it across with a couple of Mavericks out in front. Smith and Smolik were there. Borchert down low, sends it wide of the net. Smith loses an edge. Puck is underneath him. And here comes a 2-on-1 break the other way. Fry. Smolik is back. Fry gets it to the far side. Score!
Wow. This is incredible.
Mavericks starting to press. They gave up a 2-on-1 and Vanderbeek.
And that's it for Dryden McKay. Ryan Edquist will replace Dryden McKay at 8:55 to go, second period of play. That one not his fault.
The perfect 2-on-1 break, and Fry with Smolik back is able to get across. Vanderbeek goes to the far side, dekes out Dryden McKay, whose afternoon is done. Edquist is in, and it's Northern Michigan on top of Minnesota State 4-0.
Holy buckets. This is going to send shockwaves across college hockey, assuming it stays this way. And 4-0 is a heck of a hole to try to dig out of.
13th of the year for Vanderbeek.
Assisted by number 2, Alex Fry, and number 21, Brandon Schultz. Vanderbeek from Brian Schultz at
11:05 the time of that goal. Doer the other way trying to get something going for the Mavericks, but he's forced into the corner by Van Unen. Dan, we mentioned it once in the first, and I'll bring it up again. There are a lot of teams right now on the bubble really nervous about this one.
Oh, no question.
This would break up a few brackets. Doer out in front for Spooner, but it's swept away. Obviously, Northern, if they're able to finish off this win today, would have to win tomorrow as well, but it makes things much more interesting.
The way they're playing, there's every reason to believe they have the ability.
Napravnik, and another save put up there by DiMatteo to make it still a 4-0 lead. Mavericks now at least getting some shots on goal. Have 9 in the period.
There's a couple teams in the other semifinal who are very intrigued with this. Because they know that if Northern wins, they get the automatic bid, and maybe that knocks one of them out. Lake Superior State or the Beavers, either one. It could take them out of the NCAA tournament. American International is losing in their game as well. They're the number 1 seed in their conference tournament. So upsets happen, and they take bubble teams out.
Again, Mavericks with now Ryan Edquist in the nets, replacing Dryden McKay, who gave up 4 goals today and about 14 shots. Lutz gets tied up.
Yeah, and that's going to be
and
a
that's
penalty.
going to be a penalty the other way as he got tied up, and now all of a sudden Van Unen and Amet were jostling in front of the Maverick bench. Nothing else is going to be just interference.
Right.
Goalie interference at 12:26. Yep.
Lutz going through, and You see the collision there, and Lutz will spend 2 minutes in the box with a chance for the Wildcats to really put this one away. 5-0, Don. I mean, 4-0 right now is a heck of a hill to climb, but for the Mavericks, if they give up a power play goal here down 5-0, I mean, you don't want to say shut the lights off, but holy cow. This is a shocking development, obviously, except for Wildcat fans. And the players on the team. And
I think they're going to be shocked too if they're going to be honest with it. Pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
Shot blocked. Edquist there with the big save, as you heard the blocker save. Gontus behind the net. First power play of the afternoon for either club. And that one hops over the stick. Van Noonen. He'll have to come back, trying to get away from McMahon. Nardi quickly back the other way. A little bit of a break the other way. 3-on-2. Gontus score.
Wow. These guys are on fire. It's incredible. They don't care that the Mavericks are ranked 3rd in the nation. They are sticking it to them.
Gontus, his 2nd of the afternoon, now 9th of the season. A power play tally to make it 5-0.
Wow. This is incredible. I don't know what else to say.
It was
the pass and the shot from the top of the circle and in.
The quick turnaround. They brought it into the zone, 3-on-2. And I think Mavericks are going to take a timeout. I would pay good money to hear this discussion right now between Coach Hastings and his club, down 5-0 with 7:03 left to go here in the second.
No one could have seen this. If someone said with 7 minutes to go in the second period it'd be 5-0, you could have got a lot of money on it being the Mavericks up 5-0, not down 5-0. But the Wildcats have deserved every bit of this lead.
This was a 1-0 game after the first, and a huge save by McKay to keep it 1-0 right at the end of the first period of play. And the Mavericks, other than a couple of brief stints in the zone, they have had no answer for this Wildcats team whatsoever.
No, if you were just watching this and didn't know, you'd think the number 3 ranked team was green and gold, not purple and gold. But we know the number 3 ranked team in the nation is the home of the Mavericks, the home team on the ice, and right now they're getting their heads handed to them.
Well, and again, if Mavericks had no reason to overlook this team, because to go into Bowling Green and win a series there against the offense that Bowling Green has, this had to be a good club coming in.
Assisted by number 18, Joseph Nardi, number 19, AJ
Vanderbeck and Nardi assisting, so that top line with some multiple points going on so far today as Edquist kicks that one into the corner. Carroll able to clear, race for the puck the other way, and it'll be an icing call against.
Yeah, there's no question who the better team is today anyway. If you look on the season, it's the Mavericks at 23-1. The Wildcats are 10-16-1 in the year, but today there's no question that the green and gold is the better team on the ice so far. And there's 6:35 to go in the second period of a 5-0 hockey game.
Merritt unable to gather it up along the corners. He was tied up by Amit on the play. Now played to the point. Sorensen holds. Still in the zone. Poked out now by the Mavericks. Spooner near side for Doer. Doer played down low, trying to feed Carroll. Pulled out by Michael Van Noonen. Noonen the other way with the shot that's wide. Far side, Kiefer tracks it down. McNeely for Doer. Doer lifts it in, and the Mavericks are off on a change. Newhouse, long lead pass ahead. Played off the body of Vanderbeck, and the Mavericks will pick things up. Gerard, that shot gets blocked by Newhouse. Newhouse coming in, led the country in blocked shots on the season. 85, had 14 last weekend alone in the 3 games against Bowling Green. As a team, in fact, on the season, Bowling Green first in the WCHA, second in the country as a team, only behind Wisconsin in blocks. McNeely, Gerads will sweep it in. Brandon Schultz will track things down on the near side. Loose puck off a weird Karam, still in the zone. Sauter gets there first ahead of Schultz, but it's cleared by Northern Michigan. Zmolik for Napravnik. Napravnik out in front trying to feed a couple of Mavericks, but it went right between Jaremko and Sauter, and it's been that kind of afternoon for Minnesota State.
Yeah, Sauter was actually open. If he hits the pass, he's probably got an open look at the net, but he went right between the two of them.
Napravnik taps it into the corner. He's after along with Urkala. Now Sorensen along the boards. Gantus played off for Kolela. Here comes Nardi. Nardi with Livingstone back looking for a trailer, but Livingstone blocks that one behind the net. Long lead pass for Napravnik, too long, and the Mavericks are going to face an icing face-off in their own zone with 4:14 left in the period.
5 goals on 17 shots. That'll get you beat anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter at what level. 5 goals on 17 shots is just not going to get her done. And that's not all blaming the goaltender by any stretch.
No, there's the Mavericks are going to have to do some soul searching depending on how this one ends up. But Malcolmson with the shot that's up high over the crossbar. Ryland Van Union now behind the net, pulled out by Malcolmson, watched by Livingstone. Sauter for the Mavericks. Sent in by Napravnik, and the Mavericks now can make the change. Malcolmson unable to get the pass connected with Van Union, but it's cleared and sent back in by the Mavericks. Ends. Malcolmson stood up by Borchard on the play. Lutz out in front, Smith, and that one is blocked. Smith, here comes Borchard, but a little bit too far in that lead pass. So Smith, a really good look on a shot that DiMatteo made the save on. Now the Mavericks with still 14 shots on goal not posted. Played down low. Van Clee with a chance down low, and Edquist has to cover up on the play as Van Clee just forced the issue. 3:15 left to go. 5-0 Wildcats. Dryden McKay in a very, very weird spot for the Mavericks on the bench as this team out competing. They trail 5-0. Dryden McKay gave up the first 4 goals of the game. Edquist is in, and he gave up goal, one of the first ones he saw, and it's been all Northern Michigan this afternoon. Doer still with it, played off the body. Another block for Vincent DeMay. Hiroshi. Doer. Furry with Kiefer on him. Furry looking for an angle. Shot was blocked, still down loose. Played to the far side. DeMay will just drive it all the way down, in on net. So
no icing.
No icing. Long lead pass ahead the other way. And in fact, this is going to be an icing call against the Mavericks as Edquist lead pass down the other way for Gerard's too long.
Mavericks would love to get one before the end of the period here just to have some sort of life going into the locker room. But right now it's been all Wildcats all day long. Scoring in the first 2 minutes of the first period, first 20 seconds, or first 30 seconds of the second period, then down 3 of them after the halfway point of the game. It's just incredible what they've done. And actually going back to last weekend, what they've done in this conference tournament shows anybody, anytime can beat anybody if you show up and play the right way. And they certainly have done that.
Well, you mentioned Mike Hastings said to us a couple weeks ago, any of 6 teams could win this conference tournament. Might be the 6th seed that's doing it. They're making a strong statement right now. Dallas Gerads played down low on the tip. Follow-ups. Oh, and that one is off over the top of the crossbar by Livingstone. And it has just been that kind of afternoon.
Best opportunity for the Mavericks in quite a while. Livingstone just misses a tad high.
Down low, Morton got the puck, trying to feed Napravnik. Taken away. Livingstone played through the circles, loose puck that Morton can't get, still kicks it in. Now near side Napravnik. Napravnik and a nice job there defensively. And Union getting down on the play, trying to feed it through the crease, and that was played behind Morton.
Almost an odd man rush coming back again against the Mavericks though.
Tipped in by Morton. Matteo sees that, doesn't want anything to develop. He's been very strong and confident. Hasn't made a ton of huge saves, but a couple key ones, and the Mavericks just missing. And there's the tip attempt. That is a big save through some traffic, and there's the follow-up that goes off the crossbar by Livingstone. The shot came from the left side. And the Mavericks still looking to find a way to get their first goal of the afternoon.
Shots are 18-15 in favor of the Wildcats, but again, 5 goals on 18 shots.
Hirose played into the corner. Souter gets past Borchert. Hirose has it one more time. Nardi steps in for the Wildcats. McNeely gets it from the corner from Souter. They exchange passes. Hirose, as Gantus is on him. Hirose trying to flip one up under the crossbar wide. Jaremko into the corner for Borchert. Low angle through the crease. Souter. Borchert behind the net. Up on top, Amit. Amit loses an edge as he brought it through the face-off circle. It'll just be sent down. No icing on the play. Down to 25 seconds left to go in the second. Carroll with the shot. Matteo makes the save, and it's played to the near boards. Amit never got through a bunch of traffic. McMahon has it. Carroll into the corner for Smith. Just a couple seconds left in the period. That's where things will end. And there was a quick score, 24 seconds into the period by Fry, and then Wildcats tacked on 3 more. Goals by Nardi, Vanderbeck, and Gantus, his second of the game. And after 2 periods of action in this WCHA semifinal, it is Northern Michigan, the 6th-seeded team, on top of the top-seeded Mavericks. 5-0 lead for the Wildcats here on Flow Hockey TV.
At Domino's, we're more than just classic hand-tossed pizza for $7.99. We're hearty handmade pan crust, tasty gluten-free crust, foldable Brooklyn-style crust, and crunchy thin crust too. Carry out 3-topping pizzas on any of Domino's 5 crusts for $7.99 each.
I'll bet that kid's willing to pay $5,000 more than that kid for the same vehicle.
Only if you want to get fired. At Mankato Motors, everyone will get the same low price, and that's a promise.
Wondering what your vehicle's worth? Bring it in to Mankato Motors for an evaluation. It'll only take 15 minutes and no appointment is necessary. Then you can take the cash or put it towards your next vehicle.
You'll always get the Mankato promise
At Mankato Motors.
No fault, property loss, personal injury, medical. When you're in an accident, all of these insurances may come into play. It gets so confusing and so frustrating. At Knutson Casey, we listen to you and work for you. We'll cut through your insurance issues. If you've been hurt in an accident, call
Knutson Casey, 344-8888.
First National Bank Minnesota provides superior financial services including personal, business, and agricultural banking, along with wealth management services. We have the tools and people to meet your needs and lifestyle. As a locally owned and operated bank, we provide the fast, flexible, and reliable service you deserve. First National Bank Minnesota is committed to providing outstanding customer service and innovative products designed to put our customers' needs first.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You didn't know it till right now, but you want to order wings from B-Dubs, and you want all 24 sauces and seasonings, like Original Buffalo or Honey Barbecue or Asian Zing, all for takeout or delivery. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
For more than 150 years, Minnesota State University Mankato has been helping students turn their big ideas into reality. Through wars, depressions, recessions, and pandemics, we've been here and we always will be. Adapting to the real world is not only what we teach, it's what we do. Big ideas, real world thinking. Go further at mnsu.edu.
Fans, it's now time for the Stomper Donut Race. Mascots Cuppy, Sprinkles, and Stomper will be racing to see who the lucky winners of a Dunkin' gift card will be. Mascots, are you ready? Set, go! And the winner is Cuppy. Congratulations to everyone who voted for Cuppy. You've now been entered to win the Dunkin'
score that you see up in the upper left-hand corner is not a typo. And
no,
if you're a
not.
Wildcat fan, you are loving every minute of this. Your team up 5-0. It was a 1-0 lead after the first period of play, Dan, and then Wildcats 4 more goals there in the second. Alex
Fry, 24 seconds into the second period, made it 2-0. Ben Newhouse and Brandon Schultz with the assist make it 2-0. Then Joseph Nardi at 8:56 from Hank Sorensen makes it 3-0. A.J. Vanderbeck will have it 4-0 from Fry and Schultz at 11:05. And then Gantus makes it 5-0 from Nardi and Vanderbeck at 12:57. 5-0 after 2 periods of play. Just shocking. College hockey all around the country.
See Ryan Edquist there just going off your screen on the right side. He gave up the 5th goal, but Dan, it was a 1-0 lead after 1, and then 24 seconds into the second,
2-0.
That was 2-0, and then the goal that, no offense, even Dryden McKay would be the first to say.
Yeah.
The goal scored by Nardi, the third one off his shoulder from about 45 feet out in the slot.
That was a backbreaker. And then it just was downhill from there. But the Wildcats deserve to be up 5-0. They've outplayed the Mavericks every step of the way so far, and we'll see what happens for the next 20 minutes.
We realize that we're here at a Maverick Hockey Weekend, and we're Maverick broadcasters, but we have to call it the way it is, and it's been all Northern Michigan this afternoon.
No question about it. They deserve to be ahead 5-0 at the point, and if the Mavericks are going to make a comeback, they need to score quickly to get that first one, but it just seems very unlikely that they're going to be able to make it all the way back.
The Provnik for Lutz, and the save made by Rico DiMatteo, who has been good on each of his 16 shots that he's faced today. And of course, as we mentioned a few times early in the broadcast, Mavericks are in the national tournament no matter what. They're right now trying to maybe secure a top seed in a region which looks to be fleeting. And for Northern Michigan, the only way your hockey goes on beyond today and then tomorrow is you got to win this whole thing and earn the spot with the automatic bid. Smolik, Morton, Gerard's in the corner up on top. Livingstone sends one down that's blocked yet again. We talked about this team and how good they are at blocking shots. They proved it today. Gantus with 2 goals in the afternoon into the corner. Kulela, his attempt gets blocked by Livingstone. Gantus with it one more time. Morton trying to clear for the Mavericks. Gantus up on top. Nardi with the shot that's blocked by Sandlin. Follow-up is also blocked by the Mavericks, and Sandlin kicked up to the rebound. Takes it into the zone. Kicked out by DiMatteo all the way out of the zone, and Ammon has to come back for Minnesota State.
Yeah, he really controlled that rebound well, pushed it way off to the side. Mavericks had no chance for a rebound.
Carroll tries the wraparound attempt, but lost one going behind the net. Furry near side for Ammett. Furry through some traffic, loses the puck at the line, and then it's played, actually he's fired in off one of the officials.
Got a slash.
They're going to send both guys in the penalty boxes are up to find out which gate's going to have to get open on the slashing call.
Got Kiefer.
Kiefer's going to go off at 140, and the Mavericks, boy, if you ever need to convert on a power play opportunity.
Now's your time.
Coming in, the Mavericks on the season nationally. 4th in the country in the power play, and they need one desperately.
Northern is 39th in the nation on the penalty kill.
Far side for Napravnik. Slashing again, the call. Posted up against Kiefer. Edquist is back, left off for Hirose. Hirose through the center circle to the far side. Borchert. Trailer is Napravnik. Past one man. Napravnik down low. Ran out of some real estate and took a low angle shot that went wide. Smith. Hirose. Through some traffic in the crease. Napravnik couldn't catch up to it. Near side Smith on top of the circle. Borchert. Smith yet again. Down low angle shot. Morton is there. Was tied up, so he was able to just get a little bit behind
got nothing on it.
No, nothing on it enough to force it past DiMatteo, who makes the save, and the Mavericks will come out with a fresh unit with 1:10 remaining in the power play.
Shots are 20-18 in favor of the Mavericks, but it's 5-0 on the scoreboard, and that's where it matters. Mavericks just haven't been able to generate hardly any really good offensive opportunities. When they have, Matteo's been good enough to stop them, or DiMatteo's been good enough to stop them.
Lutz at the point can hold. Gerads. Lutz, Furry in the slot, back down. Lutz, score!
Well, there's
out right
something
away.
to cheer about.
Low angle shot from Lutz, and he's able to sneak one past to put the Mavericks up on a power play tally. 2:49 of the first, and the Mavericks now still trail 5-1.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, there's always a chance. Both teams having converted on the power play today, and Lutz with the goal, his 10th of the year. Mavericks put something past DiMatteo, and we'll see if they can build off a little bit of momentum. Played out through the neutral ice area. Gerads and Furry the other way. Quick shot there. Rebound given up on top of the crease. Mavericks can't get there off the initial shot by Spooner. Sent all the way down the ice. This should be an icing call when Smoley gets there. And
if the Mavericks score a second goal, how quickly do you score that second goal to make it a 3-goal game? That really becomes a question. If you can get it in the next minute or two, it changes the likelihood of being able to come back. If it doesn't, if it's 5, 6, 7 minutes, it makes it much more difficult to get back into this one.
Get a timeout on the ice taken by Northern Michigan. I think Coach Patolny obviously could sense a little bit of momentum building after that power play goal by Lutz, and the Mavericks with a good opportunity there off the shot from Spooner.
We've seen this team before, Don, really get going after they get a goal. Now, there aren't 5,000 people in the building tonight to be screaming their guts out like we've had other times, but they're going to have to get some energy from the crowd that is here, making some noise, and see if they can crawl their way back into this one. Still a huge hole that they are in at the moment, but at least they've got some signs of life.
I have seen comebacks in this building.
Yeah, I was here for the big one.
Well, the big one was, boy, it's got to be close to almost 20 years now, certainly 15.
David Backus was still here.
Mavericks down 7-1 to Denver, came back for an 8-7 win. Of course, in playoff action, Maverick fans just need to look back a couple years ago to the late 2 goals that they scored to force the championship game into overtime that they won on a Nick Rivera overtime tally, but still some work yet to be done. But the Mavericks at least have started that comeback trail and have the face-off in the zone with Smith. Punched into the corner. Borchert will get there. Out in front, they have Gerard's down loose, and he was tied up nice end of play by Nardi.
Wildcats are still feeling very confident about their chances. You make it 5-2, and then maybe a little doubt starts creeping in. You make it 5-3, and then it's, Katie barred the door for the final however long it takes. But this game right now, I'm sure the Wildcats still feel very comfortable with a 4-goal lead in the third period.
Livingstone sent wide of the net. Ammett behind, trying to corral the rebound. Punched into the corner, and now they'll be carried out by Nardi. Ammett, he'll bring it into the zone. Play down low, trying to find Gerard, but it's broken up. Near side will be played, and Ammett's there. He'll quickly try to turn one around for Gerard's. Gerard's and Noonan behind the net. Loose puck. Now forced into the corner, and Sorensen will track it down. Played along the boards, but held by the Mavericks. Sandlin trying to get it to Smith. Schultz, at least will lift it out to center ice, but Sandlin quickly turns it around for Minnesota State. Matteo out for the skate, left off near side Sorensen. That's out of play. And the faceoff will stay in the Maverick offensive zone.
NHL, that's delay a game. Not here in college.
Mavericks had spent a good portion of the period in the zone after getting that quick on a power play tally by Lutz. Lutz back out on the ice with Jeremko and Sauter. Hiroshi will step in to hold the zone. Sauter turned around there by Lutz, wide. McNeely. Sauter gets tied up with one of the officials on the far side and carried out of the zone. Fry with one goal, forced wide now. Edquist sees that one trickle into the corner. Vanderbeek unable to unleash a shot, and here come the Mavericks. 3-on-2 with Lutz and Sauter. Far side, they had Sauter there. He just could not handle the pass. And it's brought the other way by Vanderbeek, who just gains the red line and dumps it in.
I think we'll see that a lot by the Wildcats here. Every chance they get to get a change and get the puck deep, they'll do so.
Malcolmson is back to far side for Newhouse. Newhouse ends, trying to weave through a little bit of traffic. Dumped into the corner. Smolik to the far side off the skate of Doer. He's after it, but Michael Van Unen gets there first. Spooner tied up with Klee. McMahon gets dropped on the play on the check from Enns. Played off the hand of Malcolmson, out turned there around by Carroll. Now Spooner unable to control the pass. McMahon still with it as he gets some fresh skaters on the ice, but his pass goes right to the stick of Malcolmson, who clears for the Wildcats. Edquist out for a skate. Ammett is there for the Mavericks. 13:40 left to go here in the third. Urkula back for Northern Michigan. Picked off Furry. Through some traffic, but the little two hops are over the top of the stick there for Borchard. Now Ammett played down low, but that's blocked by Kiefer, who carries for Northern Michigan.
Notice every chance they get down, they get across center ice, they dump the puck deep, and they get a change if they've been on the ice for any length of time.
Layla turns one around, dumps it into the zone for Gontus. Gontus tied up by Hiroshi, who actually lost the stick on the play. Now left off for Furry. Furry, trailing play is there for McNeely, but another pass just a little bit too long. Van Unen on the near side, Sorensen. Edquist will leave things off for McNeely. Napravnik will bring it into the zone. Girad's shot blocked by Sorensen into the corner. Played all the way down the ice. Race for the puck. Smolik will get there. No icing. Girad's. Wildcats pretty content right now, Dan. If this is back and forth action as time continues to trickle off
every
the clock.
chance they get, the puck is deep in the Maverick zone.
Napravnik still with it. Napravnik down low trying to work past Newhouse, who denies that opportunity. Turned around by Carroll to the point. Jaremko. Napravnik spins away from Fry. Napravnik trying to bring it out in front. Loose puck comes down on the near side. We're going to get, I think, a penalty. When we come back, Mavericks might be on a power play. They trail 5-1.
Fans, it's now time for the Ide Bailey 10-Key Challenge. Tonight on my right we have Matthew and on my left we have Izzy, and they are going to see who can compute the given equation the fastest and be the closest to the correct answer. Whoever is correct or the closest will win tonight's prize pack and go home with a prize courtesy of Ide Bailey. Go! Where are we at? We close? Sixty is our winner. He beat you tonight, Izzy. Your winner tonight is Matt. Matt, congratulations. You're going home with the prize pack, courtesy of Ide Bailey. And remember, folks, don't guess when it comes to your finances or your business. Make confident decisions with Ide Bailey.
Going to take a look at a slashing call right there down low on Fry, as that was Napravnik trying to bring it out in front. Mavericks just a few moments ago converting on their first power play of the afternoon. They need to come up with another goal to give themselves
they might make
the
it a little interesting here.
Still trailing by 4 as we're nearing the halfway point of the third. Dumped in by Furry. He assisted on that goal by Lutz. Far side for Lutz as it pop over his stick. Lutz up on top, Carroll. Furry one more time. Lutz tried to one-time it, but partially fanned on that attempt. Nice play there by Nardi to catch up to the play and get it down the ice.
Minute 19 to go on the man advantage for the Mavericks. Really need to capitalize in the next minute here.
Morton near side left off for Napravnik. Smith back up on top for Hiroshi. Napravnik on the far side. Orchard, Napravnik again. In slot area, Morton down low. Here comes a pass for Smith. Hiroshi, one-timer Napravnik, and that's a big block save by DiMatteo. You heard that one.
Good puck movement, though, by the Mavericks.
Orchard low angle shot trying to go right along the goal line. Orchard in the corner with 26 seconds left to go in the power play. Orchard trying to find a way to get through. Morton was a backhanded opportunity on top of the crease. Swept aside. Through some more traffic. They'll go to the far point where Hiroshi catches up to it.
Come up on 10 seconds.
Smith for Orchard. Smith one more time will try the backhand and trying to feed one over to Napravnik. It went behind the net. Follow up by Smith, set wide on the near side. Fry is out of the box, so Wildcats back to full strength. Mavericks still in the zone. Fry stands up on the play. Smith has it behind the net, tries to wrap around, bring it out in front. No one is there for the Mavericks, however. Smith yet still again. Trying to find it to the far side, feeding Napravnik, but one of the sticks for the Wildcats got in the way. Takes it out of play. We'll take the break with 9:19 left, 5-1 Wild. Mike Hastings and his club able to get one goal here in the period, but still trail by 4 just beyond the halfway point of the third. WCHA semifinals on Flow Hockey TV. McNeely puts one off a leg into the corner. Doer. Dump back in. Spooner out in front. Soren Sandlin there actually with a low angle shot that goes wide. McNeely for Spooner. Doer. McNeely from the point coming in looking for an opportunity, and it's forced out of the zone by Vanderbeck, and the Mavericks have to retreat. Off the skate of Spooner. Played to the near side by DeMay. Tapped into the corner. Kiefer's after it. Kiefer and Spooner tied up. McNeely able to punch it out to center ice. Sorensen is there and drives it right back in for Northern Michigan. Along the boards, Doer unable to catch up to the play. Amit does, however, for Minnesota State. Amit out in front, loose puck. No one could get it for Minnesota State. Livingstone, Lutz tees one up, and that's wide. Amit at the point. Lutz one more time down low, puts on a one-timer. DeMay will play it out for Northern Michigan, but Dallas Gerads quickly turns it around. Gerads tracks down his own play in the corner. Sorensen is on him. Along the boards, Lutz tries to bring it out in front. Here comes Livingstone with the shot. Loose puck down low, and it goes just wide on the far side. Livingstone, near side now for Amit. Amit looking for an angle, far side with Lutz. Lutz puts one down off a body, bouncing puck that's swept aside and out of the zone by Wildcats.
Mavericks certainly with some good pressure here, but just not able to get anything past Rico DiMatteo, and that's really the difference in this game right now is he's keeping them in this thing.
Gerads punches one in the corners. The Mavericks trying to get a line change. Cade Borchert behind the net. Out in front, Napravnik just totally fans on an attempt, and they'll come all the way down. Carroll has to retreat for Minnesota State. Now 6:45 left to go in the third. Smolik ahead. Borchert has it poked away from him. Loose puck is controlled by Nardi. The other way, Gontus. His shot goes wide on the far side. Napravnik left off for Jaremko. And Borchert. Napravnik steps in along the goal line behind the net. Jaremko feeding the slot. No one there for the Mavericks, and Nardi will carry for Northern Michigan.
Now you'll certainly see the Wildcats every time they get across center ice, get the puck deep if they have the opportunity to do so, and just try to kill some time here with a nice four-goal lead.
Hirose, Enz is on him. Napravnik, goal line, and they had Smith set up on the weak side here, but the pass was up in the air. No icing as McNeely gets back to play it. Hirose sidesteps one check, spins away from one where Smith will pick it up. Smith trying to feed Morton, but it's blocked. Brandon Schultz. Newhouse on the near side, lifts one out to center ice. Smith lost the puck as he was trying to utilize his screen out front. Here come numbers the other way. Fry down low, and Edquist makes the save. Smith left off now for Livingstone. Doer off the bench will try to bring one around the far side. Furry. Doer right along the goal line. Goes off into the far corner. Livingstone overskates the puck. Has it back one more time nonetheless. Out in front. It's poked away as pass was intended for Smolik. Furry, Spooner. Through the crease. Smolik has it one more time. Now Doer. Here comes Spooner. And then it's taken away from him. Nice play by Vanderbeek and erased the other way. Merritt as that was a nice job by Carroll getting back defensively to help out. Played behind the net, and Carroll has it. Long lead pass to the far side. The problem, they couldn't play it, or there might have been too many men. And now it's played in offside. And with 4:07 left to go in the third, Wildcats controlling this one. With the goal 1:16 into the game, it has been all Northern Michigan this afternoon. Mavericks do have the power play tally in the third, but that came after they trailed 5-0 in the contest. And the Mavericks down to 3:50 left to try to find a way to get a miracle. Or else it's Northern Michigan into the championship game tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in the Central Time Zone back here on Flow Hockey TV.
No, and deservedly so. I mean, they played a much better game than the Mavericks did today, and unless something changes dramatically here in 3:33, they'll have earned their spot in the championship game.
And then they're one game away from the national tournament.
Yeah.
Not going to be an easy task.
No.
Obviously, whoever comes out of the late game tonight between Bemidji and Lake Superior State, it should be a very entertaining game because, again, if the Wildcats take the same approach as they did this afternoon with nothing really to play for, obviously, in that regard, to be the national tournament, just the idea they can come in and play loose, the expectations aren't there. I have to believe that helped them immensely in this game as Smith. Sorensen steps in there quickly as behind the play. Smith had gone into the boards rather heavily. I was following the puck up the ice, did not see it.
It was a loud collision. I don't know that there was anything that's going to come from this, but
thankfully it looks like it was Michael Van Unen on the play, and he's up.
Nathan Smith is coming to the box.
Favoring a knee, but he's able to skate off, and that's a good sign because you can't lose anybody at this point.
Got a
roughing call on Smith. And so with already one power play goal in the contest, they were 1 for 1 back on the goal that came in the second. Smith is in the box on the roughing. 17:01. Mavericks win the face-off and sent down by McNeely.
17:01 in the third period. 2 minutes for roughing after the whistle.
Wildcats with Schultz. Schultz along the far boards. DeMay gets there, but as he was playing it back to the point, no one there. Newhouse has to retreat for Northern Michigan. Vincent DeMay with it. Wildcats obviously pretty content to, if nothing else, just take 2 minutes off the clock and put them that much closer to tomorrow night's championship game. DeMay near side for Schultz. Kiefer. Schultz, as that one's picked up by Jaremko. He'll come down shorthanded the other way, but it's swept away from him, and a nice job defensively by Urkala. Schultz with it one more time with a couple of assists today. Dumps it in, and the Wildcats will bring a fresh unit out on the power play with still 50 seconds left. Time remaining as it's cleared all the way down the ice. 1:45 left to go in the contest. Off the boards, it comes out to the crease area, and this year's representative on the all-rookie team for the goaltending, Rico DiMatteo, just covers up, and be a nice win for him. Keeps a strong effort going late in the season. It looks like he'll carry his club into tomorrow night's championship contest against 7 o'clock here in Mankato.
Yeah, 29 shots on goal, 1 goal. That's a good day for a goaltender, especially on the road.
Against the third-ranked team in the country.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with their game at all.
Gantus trying to feed one for Nardi. They also each have 2 points in the contest. Nardi with a goal and 2 assists. Gantus with 2 goals, first and the 5th. Nardi. Puck on the far side, tapped out of the zone by Livingstone. Just 5 seconds left as Smith is up, ready to get back onto the ice. Played to the far side. Fleury has it, brought back in. Gantus looking for a hat trick, but Livingstone steps in on the play to take care of that opportunity. Smith, Furry, both clubs now officially 1 for 2 on the power play for the afternoon. Furry behind the net. Livingstone back to Furry, and it's going to climb out over the line, so the Mavericks have to clear. Furry sends it back in. In the corner to the far side past Doer. Gerads. Van Unen dumps it into the corner. Zmolik is back with 10 seconds left in the contest. Zmolik fires it in. Doer out in front trying to feed Morton. Matteo right out of midair just pulled that one down, and with a little more than a second remaining, he'll see one more face-off and then get ready for the championship as the Wildcats on the bench. Extremely pleased with the effort this afternoon, and deservedly so. And they have taken care of this one from the opening face-off. It was all Northern Michigan, and they opened up a 5-0 lead here in the third. Reggie Lutz got a power play goal to put the Mavericks on the board, but Minnesota State just could never build from that. And the Mavericks, as far as the WCHA tournament, are done. They're in the national tournament, but now probably looking more at a second seed. The selection show Sunday night. So the Mavericks in, and Wildcats still with the opportunity to be a participant as well. All the credit again, Grant Tulney and the group. They've come in here to Mankato, and as we mentioned from the top of the show, the fact that they could go into Bowling Green and take the best of 3 series, especially on a winner-take-all game, a 5-0 win on a Sunday afternoon to get here to Mankato. And the Wildcats congratulating a few of the fans in the building here, supporting them, and they'll be back for the championship game tomorrow night, as we said, 7 o'clock. The championship game from Mankato, that's the Central Time Zone. Dan and I will be back for that contest to see who gets the automatic berth into the NCAA tournament, and also we'll take home the Jeff Sauer Trophy. But we're just a few moments away getting things set up, and Dan will have the opportunity to hear from Coach Hastings, and I'm sure very disappointing effort by his club today, the chance to talk about it, but they will live another day. And again, it's just a matter of where they will go, one of the 4 regionals, and that'll be announced on the selection show Sunday night, 6 o'clock, I believe the Central Time Zone is the time of that selection show on ESPNU. I believe we're ready downstairs, so Dan McCargan will send it over to you.
Coach, a 5-1 final. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap. The other team was the better club today.
Yeah, they were. You know what? Congratulations to Northern Michigan for moving on into the finals. And we don't have a lot of time to clean up our stuff, but we're going to have to before the NCAA tournament.
An early goal in the first period, a very early goal in the second period. I still thought things were okay. That third goal was a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? We've lived by the sword and died by the sword. And our goaltender's been there for us all year, and we couldn't help him out a little bit tonight. Needed to give him some run support early, and we didn't. And like I said, we're going to have to look in the mirror and own this one and move on.
You had mentioned coming into this tournament, you thought there were 6 teams that had a legitimate chance to win this tournament, and you were not kidding.
No. I mean, you look at Northern and you tip your hat to them, what they did last weekend going into Bowling Green. And you and I have talked many times about our league and how hard it is. And I think it showed itself tonight because Northern deserved to win the hockey game.
Tough turnaround, as you mentioned, but to get back to work, I know that the NCAA tournament will find out Sunday evening, and things will be feeling a whole lot better by Sunday night, but a tough one this afternoon in front of the home fans. I know this one hurts, but there are better days ahead for this Maverick hockey team. I believe that.
Yeah, so do I, fellas. We're going to have to get back to work. That's how you get yourself out of a hole, and we dug one tonight, couldn't get ourselves out of it, and tomorrow's a new day, so we got to go back to work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Maverick hockey coach Mike Hastings. Final score this afternoon, 5-1 Northern Michigan over the Mavericks of Minnesota State. We'll take a break and come back and have highlights from this one and maybe some out-of-town scores as well on Maverick Hockey Weekend.
Don Westfall and Dan McCarger one last time from downtown Mankato, where, again, in a stunner, there's no way to get around it. The six-seeded team coming into the tournament after taking care of Bowling Green last weekend. Northern Michigan comes into downtown Mankato and gives the Mavericks their first home loss of the season here in the WCHA semifinals. It was a 5-1 win for Northern Michigan. Dan McCarger, why don't you give us the highlights of the afternoon?
Well, there aren't a whole lot of them unless you're a Wildcat fan. A minute 16 into the game, Andre Gantus from Joseph Nardi made it 1-0. Again, that's 1:16 after one period. It's 1-0. 24 seconds into the second period, Alex Fry from Newhouse and Schultz makes it 2-0. And that ends up being the game-winning goal right there. Here's 3-0. Joseph Nardi, his 12th of the year from Sorensen, even strength goal at 8:56. 4-0. A.J. Vanderbeck, his 13th of the year from Fry and Schultz at 11:05. It's 4-0. And the Wildcats are off the races. Then power play goal from Gantus makes it 5-0. Nardi and Vanderbeck at 12:57. Then the Mavericks finally get on the scoreboard on the power play at 2:49. Reggie Lutz from Furry and Gerads. And that's the only scoring for the Mavericks in the game. That came at 2:49 of the third period, making it a final score of 5-1.
And as you just heard with Coach Mike Hastings, the Mavericks, while the tournament is done, they will be in the NCAA tournament, just a matter of seeding. And Dan, if you are a Wildcat fan, you have got to believe right now your team has a great shot tomorrow night. It'll be interesting to see who they play, but they came in with some confidence. They came in playing a little looser than the Mavericks. They weren't tight at all. And again, 2 quick goals in each of the first 2 periods really bode well for them.
They came in and destroyed the number 3 team in the nation on their home ice, on a team that had not lost on their home ice all year long. So, yeah, they have every reason to believe they have a chance to win it tomorrow night and make the NCAA tournament. And who's to say that they're wrong?
So the Mavericks await their fate in the National Tournament Selection Show Sunday night. And if you are a Northern Michigan fan, you'll be back with us tomorrow night, again, 7 o'clock here on the Central Time Zone from downtown Mankato. You will take on the winner of this evening's other semifinal between Bemidji State and Lake Superior State. That one coming up at 7:37 from Mankato. But for the final time this afternoon, it is Northern Michigan, the upset win today over Minnesota State. It's the Wildcats 5 and the Mavericks 1. For Dan McCarger, Don Westfall, we thank you for watching along with the students from Bethany Lutheran College here in Mankato. It's been our pleasure bringing this semifinal game. And we'll close out the broadcast. See you in a few hours for Game 2. Once again, 5-1 this afternoon, Northern Michigan over Minnesota State.